considering what we've been facing for weather today. Looking forward to a good match. What you need to know about our scorecards is we'll be the white backgrounds, you're the yellow backgrounds. We play first doubles and then first singles on this court, second singles, third singles, and then the second doubles goes in the first available court. Just looking for good everything in terms of what tennis should be and hoping for a good match today. Doing our lineup will be senior tri-captain Juno Joe. Or you announce it and they'll announce.
All right. For first singles, we have senior captain Partha Jamalamadaka.
And for first singles, we have myself, senior captain Sam Topsoli.
For second singles, you have myself, senior captain Juno Joe.
And at second singles, we have senior captain Jason Coe.
For third singles, we have junior Joe DePiero.
At third singles, we have freshman Drew McPartland.
For first doubles, we have senior captain Jack Weaver and junior Sam Prajparty.
At first doubles, we have freshman James Stanton and 8th grader Kevin Wilkie.
Jack, I got you.
For second doubles, we have junior James Saunier and junior Trevor Lovell.
At second doubles, we have senior Martin Nashed and senior Tiger Bland.
All right, so we'll play when we're ready, have a quick meeting with our team. All right, good luck, Norton. All right.
Hello folks and welcome to Norwood High School. I'm Joe Pinola, this is Mark Hoover, and we're covering boys tennis. The second time ever that NCM is out here to cover tennis. Should be a really good year for the tennis team. They've got a lot of upperclassmen, and they face a team against Norton that they dropped 2 games to last year, but both in close matches. So this should be real tight today, and we look forward to a good one.
Yeah, it's going to be, it's kind of that, a nice spring day. At least it's warmed up a little bit here for us on this one as they just starting to finish up their warm-ups now. I think they've already started maybe over on court 2. We're going to try and get the numbers going here. But, yeah, you're right. I think, this is a good matchup for both of these squads, right? As you mentioned, Norton took the home and away last year. But I think this one, bodes well. Certainly we know that our first and second single players are very strong. Opening season win, against Stoughton, so it's a great start for the Mustangs. Norton Lancers, they lost their opener. We couldn't for the life of us try to find out how they did against Milford. We were both scouring the internet for that one, so we don't know how that went, but so Norton might be looking for their first win. The Mustangs looking to pick up their second. But it promises to be a good matchup here. We got 3 singles and then the 2 sets of doubles to get us underway.
Yeah, and four courts here, so whichever one opens up first, we'll get the second doubles going on there. But we'll give you a little bit of the lay of the land here as you see the full scope of the tennis courts here at the high school. The first singles game is on what kind of looks like court 2, so it's the second from the right, second from the parking lot. That's right in front of us, and that's Partha Jamalamadaka, who is a senior for Norwood, and he's facing off against another senior for Norton in Sam Tavasoli Hojati. And if you go a little bit to their left, I believe the only game that's gotten underway so far, this is second singles with Juno Joe, a senior for Norwood, against Jason Coe, a senior for Norton. So Joe against Coe on that one. Third singles all the way down on the left side, right in front of the water tower, kind of wrapping up some of their warm-ups. That's Joe DiPiero against Drew McPartland. McPartland is a freshman playing third singles for Norton. And then kind of coming all the way back by the parking lot here, we have the first doubles for Norwood, a senior and a junior. The senior is Jack Weefer, and the junior is Sam Prajapati, as they take on James Stanton, a freshman, and Kevin Wilkie, an 8th grader, for Coach Kerry Murphy's Norton Lancers. John Churchill is the coach for Norwood High School, a chemistry teacher here, and a longtime tennis coach who looks forward to what should be a pretty good year for the team.
What's kind of interesting too, again, is we're not going to quite know exactly what the score is because you've got them all bouncing around, but down you'll see the numbers that are hanging on the nets, and what they do is they kind of keep track of games, and the white background are Norwood colors. You would think we might get the yellow, but apparently we get the white.
Well, we are wearing the white jerseys today, right?
And Norton will be in the yellow scorecard, so the players will keep track of games won. But we'll start here probably, as mentioned, with our 2 number 1 singles here on court, like you said, court 2.
Yeah, we'll refer to it as court 2. I'm
Right,
not sure
yeah.
that's what they're calling it down there, but at least from our vantage point. The players will play a best of 3 sets. There is a 7-point tiebreaker if it ends at 6-6. So if you're new to this, tennis scoring is a little bit odd. You score at 15, 30, 40, not 45. And then if it goes to a tiebreaker, then you will have it add in, add out. We'll get into more of that as we go. So the numbers that you're seeing on there are keeping track of the games within the set, and if you win 3 sets, then you have won the match. So obviously we're at 0-0, but just getting underway here, and that one is out off of Partha. So the singles are playing the narrow courts, and the doubles, which you'll see in a little bit on the right side, as they're just looking to get underway, they will play the wider court. So a lot of changes between the 2 different styles of play.
It is kind of interesting to watch them as, you know, both squads warmed up, and then once you get the pairings, and we saw them, kind of the introduction is kind of unique and different as opposed to other sports. And I know Jack was down there with a camera, but they'll introduce, you know, both teams will line up. They will introduce each other in terms of who is playing first, second, third, and the doubles, and let's shake each other's hand, shake each other, you know, the coaches, and that's kind of a neat way to kind of get to know each other before you get started. And then once the teams warm up, it's kind of interesting in terms of who gets to serve first. They spin their racket, and I suppose, you know, emblem up is, you know, heads or tails kind of deal. So
exactly.
Kind of
Some way to randomize it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but kind of a very, very gentlemanly way to start the game. They shake hands with both coaches, and Juno Joe, who is one of Norwood's senior captains, did a great job enunciating super clearly. We got to get him a job as a PA announcer the way he did that.
My job might be in jeopardy. I don't think he even needs a microphone. He did a great job.
Absolutely. So you see here that Partha and Sam are now switching sides of the court, as Sam has taken the first game here of this first set. They will change on every odd score, the combined between the 2 of them. So at 0-1, they will each get a drink. Partha comes on over to the side here, and we are underway. So a very quick-moving first singles match, as Norton currently has the advantage 1-0.
Yeah, and if you kind of move down, you know, for the second singles, it looks like Norwood's got that one right now, 1-0. If, again, my eyesight's not what it used to be, but if that looks like a 1, and then we go all the way down to our third singles, who was underway. It looks like Norwood's up on that one. Does that look like a 2 from
Yeah,
Norwood?
2-0 in favor of Joe DiPiero, who's got a great start. Joe does have a win this season. He won third singles against Stoughton to open the year, so it's nice to see him getting that in there. So Joe is currently taking on Drew McPartland there on that far court. But let's turn our attention to second singles maybe for a little bit, and we'll check out Juno Joe against Jason Coe. 2 seniors, 2 senior captains going at it. And Juno, who is just coming off of injury. So Coach Churchill said he is good to go, or at least ready to at least get in some action. So this will be interesting to see. Nice to see Juno getting off to a good start, though, leading 1-0 here in this first set.
For sure. And, you know, I mean, you look at a day like today, especially with the weather that we have had, you know, the past couple days, these guys have just got to be thrilled. There's a nice little volley here as we just happen to tune in at the right time. But
just out from Juno.
That. That was a nice volley between those 2 players there. But these guys have just got to be thrilled that at least it's not raining. It's, you know, t-shirts and short weather, you know, for these guys. A little windy up where we are, but, you know, probably down the court it's a little nicer.
Yeah, I mean, in the sun, we'll take it. It's
Yep.
actually pretty nice with the sweatshirts on. We were out here 2 years ago, and if I remember right, that was a pretty hot day. The
beautiful.
players all had their sunglasses
Yep.
on.
I remember that.
So we continue to watch Juneau against Jason Coe. Not sure if these two played against each other last year, but I imagine that a lot of these players will get used to whoever they're facing off against. I know Partha and the Dedham player who faced off relatively recently. I think that's been a rivalry now for
Yep.
a little while between the two of them.
Yeah, I would think, especially if you become either first or second, early on, as these guys both have, and if you go up against the Dedhams that maybe have that same, similar, an underclassman who has won, you're going to see that same player, twice a year for, a couple years. And so, yeah, by the time your senior year rolls around.
Nice win from Juneau there as he takes that one. So Juneau doing a nice job. We'll get the update from the score, and it looks like Juneau has taken a 2-0 lead on Sam right now. So
Yep.
Norwood is going pretty well in the second singles match. They will, I believe, stay on the same side of the court, but looks like they're taking a little bit of a drink here. Although I could be wrong
Well, 'cause I
based on
just
the
saw him. It
moment
looks like
on the movement.
he flipped the number. I think he also just flipped the yellow, so it might
Yes.
be 2-1 on that, right?
Sorry.
Yeah.
It must be, yes.
Yep.
So it's blocked a little bit, but 2-1 right now. So
Right.
Juneau currently has the advantage, but with the odd score,
Yep.
Norwood currently leading. Let's turn our attention maybe to the far court now. Maybe we can get a little bit of action there. And we'll go to the right side to see first doubles. So interesting with some different rules here. They're playing on the wider lines, so something that you might see that would be out in one of the singles matches, maybe in on doubles. And this for Norwood is Jack Weafer and Sam Prajapati against James Stanton and Kevin Wilkie. Kevin, an 8th grader who's playing for Norton, so Lancer's hoping that he'll be with the program for quite a while, I believe.
Yeah, kind of a nice option to have for the coach, right? You have an 8th grader up here. You got basically 5 years of tennis, hopefully, with this young man.
Absolutely, and right in front of the Norton team too. So that's kind of cool that, tennis is one of those sports that you can really actively coach, kind of give some advice in between sets, so that's a nice advantage for them. And there's a really good return from Norton as they are trailing 1-0 right now, but did a great job of answering that hit there. For
Quick
Norwood,
reaction time from the guy up front. You really have to be ready for that, and the reaction was great. Just quick little racket out, dropped it. As they say, 'cause sometimes hit them where they ain't, and he put it right between the two Mustangs.
that's a good spot. For Norwood, in the yellow hat is Jack Weafer, and in the white and bluish, navy blue hat, there on the far side, that's Sam Prajapati. So we're not exactly sure on the Norton side. We could venture some guesses, but hopefully we'll get that as we get more information as we go along. But Jack has been a pretty reliable member of this team, I believe, playing doubles now for a while for the Mustangs. And now him in his senior year, looking to put the finishing touches on a solid tennis career.
Yeah, it's been kind of, it has been fun to cover these, to just kind of watch the growth of the program, from one year to the next to the next. I really enjoy coming out, to cover these. I love the fact that NCM will, cover these events that maybe, again, don't draw huge fans often
Right.
and whatnot, but I think that these, if you look at the schedule of tennis, I mean, if you look at football, you play one game a week, right? Hockey might be a couple games a week. There are times when they're playing 3 matches a week. I mean, it's going to go back.
Norton's got a game tomorrow.
Yeah. So I was looking at that. I'm like, there's very often no rest for the weary
Yeah.
for these guys that you don't, I mean, obviously you can practice, but, you got to be ready to go the next day for a whole nother match at another course, against another player. So this is a very quick season.
Nice get there
Look
from
at that.
Prajapati
Yeah.
as he's working that back line. But
Yeah.
there's the classic announcer jinx as
Yeah.
he whiffs on the backhand. But he
Look-
did a good job.
He really did.
You're saying that, Mark, about how quick and you can have a couple matches in a week. Tennis is certainly a quality workout.
Yes.
I mean, I know I end up probably running around more than the average player just because I'm not very good at placing it. But I've gotten actually a chance to play Coach Churchill a couple times, who is a very good player in his own right and very smart with it. He is able to conserve energy and put the ball in the right spots
Yep.
in a way that I can't do
That's
it.
right.
But you might be running back and forth a whole lot, in and out, not covering a whole lot of ground ultimately, but you're certainly getting your steps in. This sport demands a lot of you.
Oh, without question. Yeah, most of my running is after my serve is running to the net to pick it up because I hit it into the net.
Oh, there's
So,
a nice kill from
Yep.
Prajapati as him and Weaver seem to be getting their legs under them a little bit here. And Sam will continue to serve. So the serves kind of trade off. So I guess that's the thing when you talk about doubles is you're not going to be on the serve necessarily for quite as long because it's one of every 4 games that you're getting to initiate play. But you do get one fault as Prajapati puts the second one in and takes advantage of that. And Norwood, I believe, we're trying to kind of keep score from here. That may be 40 love or maybe 40-15. Either way, Norwood holds, I think, a pretty sizable advantage right now, and Prajapati will try to close them out. So we'll stick on second doubles for the time being. A little bit off on his first serve, but you do get that fault, and now a little bit of the safety serve on the second. Got it in from the back line. Seems to really like his forehand, but he hits it right into the net there, and Norton gets that point. And it's interesting too, Mark, that a lot of these games are officiated by the players themselves. There's a lot of trust and respect for this.
Yep.
I think I just assumed that Norwood is up by a lot, but that seems to be wrong. As they are,
You're kinda
again,
0
we're
for
just
2,
making
right?
guesses, right? So Norton does take the second game here. So it is 1-1, and or maybe 2-1, right? So that's something that we're going to see because you're going to update kind of 2 at a time
Right, as
when
you
they
come by
trade.
the-
So,
when you trade sides.
so we're learning it again here.
Yep.
As the teams will switch sides. So 2-1 Norton on first doubles, and maybe we'll get a little first singles action going here. We'll turn back to Partha against Sam.
He finds himself down 2-1. Oof.
Really nice
Yeah.
serve. That's a strong one for Partha and a great answer there.
That's perfect.
I think I heard Sam say
Yeah.
"whoa" on
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
As Partha delivers a kill shot. Partha is 3-1 this season. He's been Norwood's first singles player, I believe, for the last 3 seasons. So, talk about as a sophomore having that
Right.
responsibility.
Yeah.
He's really grown into this role, and obviously having a fantastic start to the season. His only loss was against Dedham, as he won his first singles match. Obviously the opener against Stoughton, but also against Holliston and against Westwood. There's a nice return from Sam against him, who tries to move around a bit. Partha now on the back row with the backhand. Tries to go cross court. Sam is there, but hits it right into the middle of the net. And Partha has looked quite strong here, Mark.
Very strong, yeah. I mean, a nice return. You could see the slide there a little bit by the Norton player, just to, great job of reaching that. But yeah, he has looked very strong, especially, if he's, receiving the serve there to then kind of be able to return it and then take control, right? Because usually the person serving starts to dictate and you're reacting, and then he was able to change the momentum and make the Norton player react.
And as we say that, he hits it right into the net
Yep,
here,
yeah.
so
They may
Sam
not want us to
earns
come
the
back
point
or-
on that serve. We'll hold attention on this court, though, for the time being, as this seems to be a really closely contested match. Partha, one of a couple players on this team that I have the pleasure of having in class. Not only a great athlete, but he does a heck of a job in the classroom. High marks in my AP Physics 2 class, which is not for the weary. He does a great job and works hard. So here is Sam on the serve once again, as Partha's lost the last 2 here, and he's a little bit long on that one. So Sam has rallied back in this one.
Couple back-to-back there that he just wasn't able to return cleanly.
So Sam trying to close it out, goes a little bit long on this serve. And here will come the second. A little bit more of a safety, but he double faults. Ooh,
Yeah.
that's rough in a big spot
Yeah.
there.
That can be a little frustrating too, and you see what kind of reaction he has here in terms of this next first serve, right?
Yeah.
And he comes
Oh,
right
that's a
back.
good one.
That's a sign of a good, solid play right there. He's able to shake that double fault off, and
A lot of this game is mental, right? It's
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
like golf in that way, as that one looks at it like it was just long,
Yep.
and Sam does call for that. So I believe that Norton will take this one, as the balls will go back to Partha. So if we're keeping track, I think that's now 3-1
would be
in favor of Norton, as we slide down to check on second singles a little bit.
Norwood looks like they're up. If my math
4-1
is
it looks
4-1
like.
down that way. Yep.
We have to talk to Juno. He's doing us no favors by having one of the markers blocking the other, but I'm sure his attention is elsewhere. But if so, this is a triumphant return for Juno Joe from injury. Coach Churchill was saying that while Juno was out, he was actually sliding Jack Weefer up to second singles. That's quite a move for Jack, who actually got a win and helped Norwood defeat Stoughton in that new spot. But Juno is right back in a spot that he's now occupied for a few years. So he is also someone I have in class. He's also in that AP2 class with Partha. They do a heck of a job, and both of them great students, hard workers, and I'm sure counting down the days till the seniors leave at that point, with both of them being senior captains.
I understand there was a test today. They don't seem
any
worse the wear. So
absolutely, I have not graded it yet. If they're watching for it, I will see them bright and early tomorrow morning to give those back. So I've got my work cut out for me. And so Juno will have to pause for a moment, as that's another thing that you have. You have to kind of respect your teammates and your opponents that are on the other court, and Juno does a nice job of that. Waiting to initiate play again. So this is Jason Coe, again a senior captain here for Norton on the serve, as he will have to knock one of those balls out of the way. I'm not sure how Jason has done this year, but Norton was pretty strong last year, 6-9 overall, obviously winning both of the matches against Norwood, so this is a little bit of a rivalry here. But again, we're not exactly sure how they're doing, or how their second game went against Milford. That was a nice play by Juno on that very high arc.
Yeah.
But Jason kind of eats him up on the second one, so the point there will go to Mr. Coe.
And if I heard him, maybe right as he's about to serve, the truck starts up. But I think he was saying 40-30. So.
Yep. And Jason's saying his score first, so.
Yeah.
He currently has the advantage, and Juno gets there. Nice play from him that keeps play alive. Now we'll have to backtrack. It stays in, and Juno is working hard, but he's keeping this rally going. We got a good one here on second singles as Jason looks to close out Juno. Juno tries to go deep on him. Good base on that shot.
Well done.
And he gets it to hit it out of bounds. So looks like we're going to a deuce here on second singles, if Mark, you heard right.
Again, that's what I heard, but we've been wrong before. And
yeah, we'll put that little caveat in. Nice serve there that goes right against the line for Jason, and a strong backhand to respond from him. And he hits it into the net. So Juno is rallying a little bit.
Yeah.
Add in right now on his side. Jason seems to like that backhand against him, as he's been going to that a lot. He's been trying to, it looks like, work Juno short and then work him long, but the senior for Norwood has had the answers, at least in the last couple points that we've been watching. Here's the serve from Coe. Juno goes to the backhand and puts some nice spin on that.
You could see that when he...
and he collects it and he gets the win.
Yep, you could see that when he with that backhand, again, I don't know a lot about the game, but you can kind of see the way he had the racket in such a way that you knew that ball was going to come and then literally die. And it's exactly what he did, and there was just no chance. So a great comeback there.
So 5-1 in favor of Juno, and he is on the doorstep, as 6 will get you the first set victory. Again, it is a best of 3, so obviously still a while to go, but we got to see a nice little comeback from Juno as let's take a look now at third singles, and we'll see if we can pan on over. I think he might get us in the way, or maybe not. Ron Marshalsea has his work cut out for him right now. Ron did a great job a couple of years ago covering tennis, which certainly asks a lot of whoever's on camera, and he's doing it just by himself today. But third singles, this is Joe DiPiero, a junior for Norwood, against Drew McPartland, a freshman for Norton. Joe already with 1 win this season, so he is 1-3 on the young season. And Mark, we're going to have to really test our eyes on this one.
That's just too tough of an angle.
So you folks can see the score maybe at home, or maybe Ronnie can help us. Yeah, 5-2, there we go. So Ron Marshalsea gets the assist on that.
Thank you, camera lens.
5-2, and that does look like a 2 for Norton. So it's a nice start for Joe, and we'll keep our attention here to see if he can maybe close it out.
Yeah.
This would be big for Norwood if they're able to start off with potentially 2 wins. Obviously, Juno up with a big lead in second singles, and Joe with a big lead so far in third singles. Joe is a lefty, so a little bit of a different look from here. And he does a nice job there. That shot kind of eats up Drew. Not a whole lot he could do with the backhand.
Yeah, that's got to be, I suppose, as a tennis player, especially if you're a righty, it might be look a little off, right? If it's coming at you from the other hand.
Right. And something that McPartland, who's a freshman, so especially with Norton only having 2 games in their schedule, this is potentially only his 3rd career match.
Yep.
Something that maybe he is seeing for the first time in the lefty. And obviously Joe is having his way with it so far. Junior, who's got some pretty good height, and I imagine he's going to have a lot of responsibility on a Norwood team that is going to be graduating a bunch of seniors into next year. So he'll be one to watch for sure.
Yeah, there are obviously we still have this year to go through, but yeah, next year there are going to be some openings here. Obviously, 1st and 2nd, and so you're going to have certainly some big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
If you think about our first, who's been doing it for 3 years, so.
And let's see,
he
we'll get
took
the result
that.
there.
Yep.
He did. Nice job from Joe DiPiero as he takes the first set in his match. And right next to him, those scores are getting flipped over as well. Juno Joe has taken the first set in his match. So nice job to 3rd singles and 2nd singles for Norwood. And we'll turn our attention back to Partha here in the I guess the Norwood Center Court. Not quite Wimbledon
Right,
here,
yep.
but certainly these two are quality players, and they're involved in a very close game right now. 3-2 though at the moment in favor of Sam Tavasoli Hojari.
Oh,
And does a nice job
nice
there. You
touch.
saw the little fist bump
yeah,
from
little
Sam.
drop shot there, yeah. And again, he's working off of the serve, right? So he's got to be able to return it and then take control. And he had Norwood kind of moving. And was able to dictate where he wanted to put it.
Oh, that's a great spot from Partha.
Yikes.
Into the back corner of the court, and
Yeah.
Sam just didn't have an answer for that one.
Nothing he was going to do on that. That was a solid. And that's pretty, right? Because that was exactly what he wanted it to do.
Right.
That wasn't like, I'm just going to hit it and see where it goes. He saw that opening, he saw that seam, and he placed it exactly where he wanted it. That was a pretty shot, pretty point.
So let's see if Partha can build on that momentum. He's got the serve right now. And obviously, as opposed to doubles, the singles players rotating the serves back and forth, so they get to serve relatively often. This one a little bit long for Partha. Had some good speed to it. He struck that one well. Gives the racket a little spin, and here comes the second. A little bit of something off of it. Had a little bit of curve to it as well, it looked like. And Partha tries to go to the same spot, as he seems to be working Sam left and right here. This one on the line. Partha decides to play it. And this one just out. That's a nice return on the move from
nice.
Tavasoli Hojari right there.
Yeah, very nice. And again, you can just kind of see that slide right with his front foot as he was able to reach out and just deftly touch that back up over the net.
Yeah, it looks very smooth the way he hits it, in a way that you really only see kind of at these higher levels, obviously in first singles that we're watching. So Partha again now with the serve. And this one right into the net. He'll take a second one. And away we go. Really took something off of that one. Just trying to get it in. You don't want to double fault in a spot like this. And down the line, great shot.
Yeah.
Partha gives a little clap with the tennis racket. Not much he can do there. That's a really nice return from the Norton senior.
It was. You could see Partha was trying to, maybe charge the net, maybe pick up something real quick, but just the response and the return was just clearly out of his reach, but well read.
So here we go again. Great serve.
Yeah.
His first gets over. Now he has a very high arc, handles it nicely. Sam returns it right to the middle of the court, and I think I almost saw Partha's body language the moment he hit that one. It goes into the net.
Like all those, the unforced errors, right? Where
the balls will change hands, and we'll get an update on the score as Coach Churchill, I believe, is going to talk things over with his first singles player. And it has been a really nice start for Norton as they are up 5-2 and on the doorstep, Mike.
Right.
So let's slide on over, maybe get some doubles action here. This again is Jack Weaver wearing the yellow hat, and Sam Prajapati, who is currently playing a little bit closer to the net. Nice return there from Weaver and that green racket. Really nice from him. Somehow, oh, did that stay in? It's a very awkward hit from the Norton player.
I wasn't quite sure what happened there. I think they're trying.
Yeah, they're trying to
Yeah, I
sort
think
through what
that-
happened. I think it bounced on Norton's side.
I do too.
And then didn't hit the net, went cleanly over.
Right.
And Norton now giving
Yep.
the balls back to Norwood. So I believe now, was that on Norton's serve? Which would put Norwood up 4-2 in this match, even though obviously we're seeing 3-2 on the scoreboard.
Right, yeah.
So Norwood obviously has taken already the first set in second singles, in third singles, and although we're currently losing right now in first singles, second doubles or first doubles seems to be doing a nice job. Nice return there from Prajapati. Almost a little bit of miscommunication on the Norton side. This one stays in again because we're playing the wider court. And Norwood gets the point there. A little frustration
Yeah,
from
you
the
can
Norton
see, too.
player.
Right, yeah, because it's like one of those, it's a nice, and I'm going to use the word in air quotes, easy return.
Not for us, right?
mind you. That's why we're up here and not down there. But you kind of get that sense of like, oh, that was one you had, right?
Yep.
And you'd like to get that back. But we talk about this game like a lot of games. It's a huge mental part, right? That you need to just block that particular shot or non-shot out.
Mhm.
And
Oh, nice smash there, and Norton almost returns it.
almost got that.
Really nice work
Yeah.
on the back line, but Jack
Yeah.
Weaver really took advantage of what I guess maybe a tennis player would describe as a great opportunity to
Yep.
put that one away.
Mm-hmm. Those are probably ones you really like to see come your way that you can really unload on.
It's amazing how many of those, though, you look at and your eyes get big. I've done it plenty,
Right
at
into
least
the net.
playing against Coach as well. And Weaver delivers again, so
Again.
he's on quite a
Yeah.
roll here.
Yeah.
Seems to like that spot as the player closer to the net. So maybe this kind of setup with Prajapati serving, and I believe kind of based on the score, you know, if this is now your seventh game here in this first set,
Right,
that
yeah.
I believe they had Weaver serving first. But this seems to be a nice little setup for Norwood. Sam doesn't quite like that one. So here we go again. 3-2 in favor of Norwood right now in this second doubles match. He's a little bit too long. And we'll do it a second time. This is James Stanton, a freshman, and Kevin Wilkie, an 8th grader for Norton. Ooh, nice little
Smart
shot
play.
there.
Oh!
A little bit of a back and forth, and that one eats up Weaver.
Yeah. Weaver, the first one was almost like a reactionary, save yourself. Because that was coming right at him.
Absolutely.
But a terrific shot there. First shot for Norton as he went far court. And again, you taking advantage of the fact that you have that extra, lane, as it were, that extra area to put that ball in.
Right, and is this a double fault here? It looks like
looks
it's
like
that
it.
costly.
Yeah.
Prajapati's kind of taken something off of his serve, as it looks like, he's comfortable just getting it in. Though, as I say that, he uncorks a little bit of a faster one that just misses wide. And now you got to imagine this is the serve that he's just going to want to put in. A little bit of a wind starting to build up,
Oh, and
back-to-back double faults, I believe, should give that to Norton, as their player gets a little bit of a fist pump.
yeah, it's funny because we could feel the wind certainly picking up here, and then I'm kind of looking at the trees back behind the
Right.
players, and you can see them starting to move. So that wind is, not only
Oh,
up
nice
here,
return there from Weaver.
Terrific opening, but that wind can start to play, as it comes across the court, play a little bit of havoc.
So Jack Weaver has had a number of kill shots here in this first doubles game. Prajapati struggled with his serve so far as he serves one out. But, just kind of like any good doubles team, his partner having his back and does a nice job of putting a couple kills away. There's a good serve that Norton plays right back to Sam. And Norton goes up. Nice play by their up player. Not sure if that's Stanton or Wilkie, but he did a nice job putting that away. And I believe if this is not the game for Norton, at least it should be their advantage, at least at the moment.
Yeah, that's the hard part. I would think that it is just given what we've seen thus far. I think they'd have to be up on the ad.
His serve is long, and now a very important serve potentially coming from Prajapati. Takes something off of it. It's short. Norton plays it, stays barely in on those doubles lines, and Sam will have to go to work in the back row. Hits it towards the parking lot, strikes a car. Luckily, that's not a baseball. But Norton takes it, and I believe Norwood's still alive, so the Mustangs must have built themselves quite a lead in this game as Sam still remains on the service line.
Yeah.
We must have caught this game, Mark, right at the very beginning of this one. So if you're just joining us, you're getting a lot of action right now for the second doubles team. Jack Weaver has been really good in this game, and that's Sam Prajapati, his partner, bringing that one back from far away. This one barely out, and the back and forth continues there as Norton showing some good sportsmanship amongst their teammates. Prajapati, I don't know what happened on that one.
You know,
Got too much of the metal of the racket.
Yeah, you could hear it from up here, but it's like one of those. He just seemed to kind of rush that one, right? Like he wanted to get right back and get started, and that one he takes his quick little breath, take your time.
No harm, no foul on
exactly.
that one, as you obviously get that fault, but this one into the net, and back and forth we go. This game has been in a deuce now for a while, as the duo of Weaver and Prajapati, dueling with Stanton and Wilkie. This serve a little bit wide. And I tell you, sometimes some of these double games comes down to a good serve.
Yep.
There's one that's maybe looked just out from here, but they'll play on. Prajapati trying to go over the head of his opponent, but it was successful either way. And still continuing.
Yep, we have no idea.
Yeah, exactly. So potentially add in. No, it's a deuce right now.
There we go.
Thanks to Sam for yelling that score out.
Sam looked up and he saw, you guys don't know what the score is, so I'm going to help you out.
So it's a deuce for the moment. That was a really nice hit, but a great return from the Norton player. High in the air, so Prajapati will get to reset. And another miss hit for him, but not in an opportune time. And that gives the advantage to the Lancers.
It's that moment when you're like, you have yourself set, you're ready to go, and you just inadvertently misfire, right?
Yep.
And it's just like,
So add out. Norton with the advantage. And this one now from Prajapati has to be in. Second serve coming from him. It's a good one. He'll have to go to the backhand. Keeps it in, just barely on that line. Weaver trying to go across the court, can't get it. Now Weaver again. Couple shots in a row, and he hits it long. And Norton will take that game. A back and forth that the Lancers finally close out. Entertaining stuff here from the doubles.
Yeah. We'll see what the score flips here.
Yeah, a little bit of an update as we get that dramatic reveal. Norton earned that one.
They certainly did.
So obviously second doubles will end up taking the first available court. At the rate we're going, I don't think it's going to be the court here on the right. Norwood currently with a 4-3 lead, so they are still up. But Norton with the advantage, as they will now be the ones serving. But in the meantime, let's turn back to first singles. Here is Partha going up against Sam Tavasoli Hojati. And I believe, Mark, the other games have finished out, or at least in the middle of it. Norwood has advantages in both of them. Nice return there from Partha. Oh, he was kind of toying with them left and right.
Yeah.
Partha obviously back against the wall right now. With Prajapati at 5, 6 will clinch it for him. And so add out right now. So this potentially could be set point right now for Norton. Partha giving everything he had on that serve.
Did not
just
miss
a
by
little
much.
bit long. Yeah, he did not. Second serve is a good one. Sam trying to close him out. Goes to his backhand again. Partha will take something off of it. And Sam will take it.
Yeah.
Nice round of applause
Really
for
nicely
Sam
done.
Tavasoli Hojati.
Yeah.
As he closes out Partha here in the first set of this match, at least we believe from our vantage point. We'll get the official reset of the score. And a little bit of frustration from Partha.
See that on the turn, right? And I mean, I think on that last one there, he certainly kind of had him set up and almost froze him because he wasn't quite sure exactly which direction he was going to go, and it was that momentary freeze, and then put him away. So
he'll talk things over with Coach Churchill, and this is one of Coach Churchill's big strengths. As Partha talks things over briefly with him, gets his water, but he's really good about developing the mental fortitude of some of these players, because obviously we talked about what a mental game this is.
Yeah.
But John, a teacher here for, if not 20, he's got to be closing in on 20 years now at the school on the hill. but does a really nice job kind of building up players' confidence and things like that. So we'll see if Parth is able to shake it off and get right back into this. Obviously, it is his best of 3. So although he is down, he is certainly not out. As away we go. And while those two get going, let's check back in on Juno Joe here in second singles as we see a couple of the other Norwood players. Juno there on the second court from the right, the second singles court. He's currently up 1-0, and at least based on the score right now, 3-0. He's got a bit of an advantage again. So Juno having a nice time so far with Jason Coe. Both of these senior captains for their respective teams, so you had a feeling this was going to be a pretty close match. And Juno obviously coming back from injury. Boy, Mark, he looks like Rookie of the Year out there, the way he's returned.
You wouldn't know it. You would not know it. Yeah, he looks very smooth, very solid out there, very comfortable.
Yep, called that out with confidence on that.
Yeah. See, yeah, he's got that announcer voice.
Yeah,
for the tennis
for sure. So, Juno trying to close this out as we give them our attention a little bit here. Nice that we have the ability to kind of go court to court.
Yep.
Shout out again to Ron Marshalsea, who's doing a great job with that, and Jack Tolman getting us some coverage before the game of the little ceremony they had down there, announcing the opponents, and another one for Juno.
Yeah, I feel
he's going to flip the score. I think this is this 5-0, Mark?
It certainly is.
Yes.
Yes, we'll switch sides here. Yeah.
5-0. So let's stick with Juno and see if he can close things out.
Here, right? Because this would close it out completely for him, and then that's where your second doubles would likely wind up, I would think.
For sure.
Yeah.
Although as we watch Jason Coe,
I'm not about to jinx anything. I'm not, you know, because the last time we did that, next thing you know, we'll be playing the third set.
For sure. And then you talk about momentum,
Yes,
and that becomes
exactly.
part of it. You know, you might lose the first one, but if you're able to win the second, now you got the momentum coming into the divisive third, which Partha obviously is hoping to do just to their right. Juno's first serve a little bit off the mark, so Mark, I'm starting to worry about that jinx
there
here.
it goes.
There we go.
No.
Answers it right off the bat. Really nice backhand there from Juno, forces another long shot, so 15 love in favor of Juno. Love, obviously, that tennis word for 0.
Yeah. I could never figure out what they were thinking when they came up with the scoring system. It still just seems a little interesting. 15, 30, and then 40. 45,
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
The math part of me, obviously, the 40 versus the 45, is certainly something that at least seems very strange. Nice job by Juno, who took something off that shot. Now a chance to put him away, but Coe with a really nice return on the move. Jason now keeps it back in, so a little bit of a reset for both players with a good rally developing.
Nice backhand by both.
Jason seeming to prefer the forehand, takes something off of it. Juno's eyes got big there. He's trying to go for the cross-court winner. Yeah. But Jason Coe, I think, makes this 15 all.
That was a nice little volley there, for sure, by both players. You know, having to, you know, there weren't not every shot was an easy return, right? You had to move and anticipate. That's a nice first service there.
Nice work from Juno as he gets the ace.
Yeah, that's kind of what you're looking for. That's a nice response to that last point.
So it looks like we're going to have that ball returned. Always nice. They open a fresh new pack of tennis balls before we start each one.
Love that sound and that smell.
Absolutely. I'm sure the trees behind here and a couple of these neighbors will be getting peppered with them at some point now that the season is underway. That's a good serve from Juno that just ticks in. And that one, Juno calls very early, confidently it's out. And now I believe, Mark, is this 40-15?
Should be 40-15.
Potentially, I believe, set point, at least from our untrained eye. Let's see if Juno can close it out. Good serve from him. Sticking with the forehand for the moment. Coe sends this one wide, and Juno Joe has closed out
do it. Yeah,
our first match as those two will come to the middle, shake each other's hands, showing some great sportsmanship, and Juno Joe collects his first win of the season in second singles.
That's a great start
as he defeats Jason Coe 2-0.
Great start for the Mustangs there.
That's got to feel good for Juno coming off of injury, and you know, did a great job there in the opening ceremony, and makes quick work of the Norton opponent. Jason kept some pretty good rallies going throughout the course of this game, and he'll have a nice quick way to rebound from that, obviously, with Norton taking on Medway tomorrow. But Norwood currently up 1-0 overall in this tennis match. As we check out the other game that has been going Norwood's way so far.
And if I look, that one may be over as well, because it looks like they just shook
Yeah.
hands there. So just like that.
Look at this. It is 2-0 the Mustangs, and if they can get one more, they will be on the cusp of knocking off Norton. Congrats to Joe DiPiero
Yeah.
with his second win of the season as he takes down Drew McPartland, a freshman for Norton. So he will pack things up, and Mark, away we go for Norwood,
Wow.
just like that.
Yeah.
2-0.
They've cleared off the left side of the court. Now we'll obviously get ready for the second doubles as they begin to work their way in. I'm not quite sure if they'll take the court right next to singles one or move down, but so yeah, it's a great start for the Mustangs.
Look at that. And now this first doubles match, which Norton, as we see the score flip here on the court near to us.
5-4.
Yeah,
Wow.
5-4.
Marathon here on
This one, I believe, still in the first, right, Mark?
It is. Yeah.
So we said that this was going to be a contest that wasn't going to open up first. Second doubles, it appears, will get going on the court that Juno
the far
and
court there.
Jason were just playing on. No, excuse me, you're right, on the far court. And that will be Trevor Lovell and James Saulnier taking on Martin Nished and Tiger Bland. So 2 juniors for Norwood and 2 seniors for Norton. No, they will be using that second singles
They've
court.
been moving back and forth. They're just trying to keep us honest.
Yep. I'm sure they want to play a little bit more towards the center, not near the fence.
Yeah.
But as those two get a little bit warmed up here, and the second doubles game seems to be in a pause, or the first doubles game, excuse me, seems to be paused, let's turn our attention to Partha against Sam in our first singles match.
Oh.
A good rally, and Partha has been having some trouble with Sam's returns, although he is up 1-0 right now. So Partha trying to get the momentum going again on his side.
I tell you, boy, watching Sam, he certainly is just a very smart player, right? I mean, we've seen some shots from Partha that he puts it exactly where he wants, but that is being countered, quite effectively by Norton as well. So you can see why these are, both the number one players for both schools.
Well, that was a great serve from Partha, but just a little bit long. You can kind of see the reaction. It's pretty close there, and that's a lot of sportsmanship and trust on the calls. I think Sam got it right, at least from our vantage point. And Partha with a great return right on the line. Look at that backhand from Sam, and Partha saw an opportunity.
Yeah.
As Sam's momentum was carrying him to the right side. Can't quite deliver, though.
Yeah, you can see him trying to set him up, right? He was trying to get Sam to come all the way right, and if he'd been able to, make that cross-court shot there, it would have been perfect. Just a little into the net there.
Partha very smooth with his shot.
Yes.
He has some excellent form that I'm sure he and Coach Churchill have worked on over the years. But Sam's footwork has been outstanding. The way he's able to move laterally has been real strong, and I think has been the difference thus far.
Yeah, very, very talented number one singles here for the Lancers for sure.
I not only have Partha in class, but he was also in one of my study halls when Jack Tolman came in to talk to me about doing this tennis match. And I said to him, Partha, which match is going to be a good one on the calendar? And he identified a Norton as one that could go back and forth. So he knew what we were in for. And credit to Partha so far. It's really been a treat.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and again, obviously a nice start. You've got the number 2 singles winning, number 3 singles winning. So it's a great start for the Mustangs. A terrific match here on first doubles that
Could come down to first doubles, right?
It certainly might. Yeah. We might have to turn the lights on for these guys.
That one a little bit long. Partha's kind of been toying with that back line there in that box. Maybe a little frustration setting in for the senior. Here's his second serve. Takes a little bit something off of it and still just barely keeps it in. But at least this one's alive. Sam takes something off of it as well. Partha now trying to go to Sam's backhand. And look at that answer. Beautiful answer. We get the fist pump, and Sam Tavasoli Hojati seems to be in control right now.
That was really well played, really well played.
So it looks like Sam will get the balls back to serve here as this game is now knotted up as at 1.
Right, yep.
Let's check out some second doubles action first doubles action to our right, as we're potentially getting towards the end of this one. And this first doubles match again for Norwood. This is Jack Weaver and Sam Prajapati. With they are taking on James Stanton and Kevin Wilkie. Nice serve from Norton, as they're able to get that in.
Yeah, and you can see, the Norton coach, she's right there. And again, that's kind of what makes it nice about this is, the coach is right on the other side of the fence, to offer encouragement. It's kind of interesting. We've done golf before where the coaches are, air quotes, allowed out on the golf course, but they can't talk to the players. They can't coach them at all during a golf match.
Oh, there's a nice answer from Norton, and we get a strong fist pump on that one. This game back and forth. It's probably been our most entertaining match so far. First doubles.
These guys are going to be exhausted. We're not even. Yeah.
Yeah, the second singles match is already over. The third singles match is already over, and it hasn't quite been a slog though. It's been a lot of back and forth, some good rallies. Prajapati just misses his serve on that one. So I think we were watching this game when Sam was serving the last time. So that seems to be the way that our timing has been going.
And we still won't know what the score is, right?
That's it. And again, if you're wondering, like, why do these guys have no idea what the score is? It literally says it right on the net. That's obviously because they will only change it every time the teams switch sides, which is only when it adds up to an odd number. So obviously, to bring you attention on the other courts, we had to turn our attention away for a little bit here. Prajapati with his back against the wall there keeps it in. The Norton player does a great job, but Weaver puts it away.
That's not much you can do on that one in terms of return.
Great work from Jack Weaver. Jack also listed as a captain on our score sheet, so he, Juno, and Partha anchoring this Norwood boys tennis squad that even though, both teams or both schools fielding 7 players, Norton seems to have a couple other players in reserve who maybe will get a chance to play some matches as is happening right now off camera, as they'll get a chance to kind of eventually work their way into one of the featured matches.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what's kind of nice, right? Once a court opens up, you can get some folks back out there. Again, I kind of equate it to high school golf, is that you take your top players, but everyone still gets out to run the course, whatnot. So the fact that
nice
court
reach
opens
from
up.
Prajapati as he kind of eats up the Norton player on that one. Did a nice job with the back line. But you're right, Mark. Yeah, get the chance to be out here, right? And especially with golf, I've heard a lot of kids saying like, "Hey, this is your chance to play some great courses for free,
Some
almost,
free
right?"
golf. Get used to it, guys, because it's going to change after this.
That changes in quite a hurry. Prajapati catches the top of his racket on that one. Here's the second serve from him. It's a good one. And Weaver trying to put it away. Oh, he had an opportunity. You could see the frustration from him. So you saw an opportunity on the from your angle, the left side of the court.
And that's back-to-back where that's happened to him. It's just the last point, too. It's like, again, your eyes get like big as saucers when you're ready to kind of try to put that one away, and then to just misfire.
And
that's the third time. I don't know if we're jinxing it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yep.
And a couple of the players watching on. Juno Joe is right here trying to cheer Jack and Sam on. This could potentially be the deciding game right now. We will get the flip of the score. And obviously we were off camera a little while ago. It looks like Norton has turned the tide in this game, 6-5.
6-5.
So, Mark, let's stay right here for second doubles for the moment, as this game is getting really entertaining. The players will talk things over, so they're just on the in the middle of your screen is Sam and Jack talking things over with Juno, who's coming off a win, and also with Coach Churchill. So Norwood, who has led by 1 for most of this contest, now finds themselves down 5-6, and Norton will have the serve and a chance to take set 1 here in the first doubles match. Norwood has Jack Weaver in the yellow hat back for the moment. Weaver struggling a little bit as he's had a bit of a tough run, hitting a bunch into the net, but from watching them earlier, he was quite strong, being able to put balls onto the other side of the court.
You know, it kind of becomes sometimes, you know, kind of a mental situation that you got to be. Hardest thing is to just try to kind of shake it off and be ready for the next one, but sometimes that can kind of creep into your head and you start to second guess that shot.
For sure. There's a good serve on the second one for Norton, and they have an answer right at the net. Not sure if that was Stanton or Wilkie, but Norton is now up 30-love here in what could potentially become the deciding game here. 6-5, the Lancers trying to close out the duo of Weaver and Prajapati, although we are still only in the first set of this. So even if Norwood were to drop it, they would certainly still have a chance to come back. Sun's starting to go down here. Things getting a little bit chilly.
Throw that extra layer on.
There we go. You came
More
prepared today,
NCM
Mark.
swag. I'm ready to go.
Prajapati now eats up the Norton freshman. So a little bit of applause there from Juno, and Joe DiPiero also watching on as he was able to collect a win not long ago. So the sweatshirts coming on all around us. Weaver does a nice job of backing up to the line, and Prajapati takes advantage. Great spot from him as he slams it home, gets the cross-court winner, and that's a big one for Norwood. This duo now attracting quite a crowd. Prajapati a little bit long.
Yeah, this is quite a bit of back and forth on this.
And that, I think, will that do it, Mark?
It looks
that long shot will give it to Norton. So 7-5, a little bit of communication struggles here, but yeah, I believe the Norton player is right. I think that is 7-5 for them. As the duo of James Stanton and Kevin Wilkie, a freshman and 8th grader, really nice work, and potentially the future being very bright for Norton, have closed out the duo of Weaver and Prajapati for Norwood.
Yeah, Coach Murphy's got to be, you know, again, certainly pleased with that, right? That these two young men here have, especially coming back from what they, you know, where they were. So, well done for Norton to be able to get that first one, but again, you kind of look around and, you know, we've already started our second doubles in the time it took
let's
them
check
to do
out that
just
game
one.
a little bit. Second doubles here for Norwood. This is Trevor Lovell and James Solnier. I believe Trevor in the white hat and James in the gray here, taking on Martin Neshed and Tiger Bland.
Looks like Norwood's up 1-0, right?
I believe so.
All right.
Well, you wouldn't have 2-0 with the way the odd numbers work. So a good start for that duo of Lovell and Solnier. Both juniors for Norwood, 2 seniors, though, for Norton. So a lot of experience, we assume. Obviously, sometimes you just get some players that will join up their senior year. Not sure if that's the case for Martin and Tiger. But those two potentially could have a lot of spotlight on them, as Norwood is up 2-0 so far in this overall tennis match, thanks to wins in second singles and third singles. But with Norton leading in first singles at the moment and leading in first doubles, this is the potentially could be the deciding game.
Yeah, that is a good point, right? Sometimes you'd like, maybe, I don't want to say you don't want it to be, because you'd like to be able to, you know, be in control. But yeah, it could come down to that for sure.
So I think I'm along the lines with you, Mark, getting the extra layer on here.
That sun goes down and it gets a little chilly.
For sure. As players watching on are certainly starting to feel that.
Yep.
So currently Norton with the serve here. Not sure who had the first serve to begin the match, but the Norton player with a little extra oomph behind that serve. That was a strong one. Unfortunately, went into the net for him.
And then he double faulted on the second.
So surprising to see that he didn't take a whole lot off the second, as we often see in these kind of matchups, just kind of a get-me-over. Here we go again off of the double fault. Looked really good for a moment. play continues, and this one does go long. So both teams may be toying with the ball being out. They decided to play on, and Norton is able to close it out. So nice job from their player to rally back after the double fault. Norton again, right into the ground. The second serve is a good one, stays low to the net, and it kind of eats up Lovell on that one. So nice job from Norton as eyes turn to that court here. Just off camera, the first singles game is currently on break, but Partha does have a 3-2 lead, so I'm sure we'll be turning back to that game in just a moment. But let's finish out this one here on second doubles. And in fact, even one of Norton's players with the sweatshirt on still, so probably the right move with the sun going down.
Sweatshirt, long pants, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Both of Norton's players are ready for the cold. So here is James Solnier with the serve. James with a little extra power behind that.
Little mustard on that one.
Yeah. Second one is a get me over. He gets it. And now we'll have to return. Hits it down. And that will give this point to Norton. And so I believe we'll listen for James here. 40-30 is my guess.
All right.
As they will get the ball back from a couple of Norwood's other players playing there on the far court. So they are just off your camera, including Justin James, who I have the pleasure of having in class. Justin's in my freshman class. Nice to see him getting a chance here on the tennis courts. But away we go here. Good serve from Solnier. Tricky shot there, and a nice job from Lovell to put the Norton player kind of in a tough position. I think it snuck up on him, Mark.
Yep.
So nice work from Norwood in what could become our featured match later on. We keep saying it.
Yeah.
Could be a big deciding game. And look at that serve.
Terrific.
Solnier really rocks it home, and that first serve is a beauty. Tell you can land a serve like that every time. That's going to go a long way in some of these second double matches.
Hard to return for sure.
Here it is again from the junior. This one a little bit long. Maybe there was a tennis ball coming in from another court that may have distracted him for a moment.
Yep. That's the hard part, right?
Exactly. This is not center court at Wimbledon. You're not by yourself. Here's the second serve from James Solnier.
Smart.
Yep. And it worked.
Yeah,
sometimes you just got to get it over.
You just got to put it in the little box there.
And that is big for Norwood, who was seemingly starting to lose some momentum when we first turned our attention to this match. But I think it may be a deuce. We'll have to listen to James here. Nice serve from him once again.
Oh,
but
nice
a really good return from Norton.
Oh.
And James now with the backhand. Look at this. Back and forth here. James with the backhand again. He can't land it. But probably one of the best serves we've seen today, or at least in the early going from James. But credit to the Norton player who had a fantastic return. So Norwood still with the serve. I think I may have heard an ad out there, so this could be Norton on the doorstep. Solnier again. He is not missing by much on some of these, Mark, and he's already landed a couple.
I like the fact that he's not afraid to let it rip.
And the Norton player took a moment to get the other ball back. I think maybe he wants to give himself a moment to catch his breath as Solnier has
slow him down a little bit.
Coming at him. He takes something off this serve, and hey, it works either way.
That's twice he's been able to do that, right? That he kind of like puts that misses the first one, you know, and if you get that second serve, you might as well try on the first.
And that gets it for Norwood. As we'll see a flip of the score here, we know Norwood took at least one in this second doubles match, and it looks like they have only taken
2-1.
They have only taken one there, so 2-1 in favor of Norwood. They currently have the advantage in second doubles, which is just getting underway. But let's turn our attention now to a really nice shot from Partha Jamalamadaka, who kind of took a page out of Juno's book and put some English on that one. He's currently up 3-2. And if Partha's able to turn the tide and force a decisive third set, that could be huge for the Norwood team. Good serve from Sam Tavasoli Hojati on that one. Partha sends it out. And Partha's been doing a really nice job, Mark, off camera.
Yes, I know.
Maybe we should pan over and
He's like, enough, guys. Move away.
That's it, as he gives the racket a couple of spins. This one looks long, and Partha does confirm that. So we'll see a second serve coming from Sam. Here it is, a good one with a little bit of spin on it. Nice return from Partha. These two have been battling, seem to be very closely matched, at least ability-wise. Sam puts a little pace on that. That almost eats up Partha. Partha will return the favor. And this one, it stays in. And I think Partha just kind of got unlucky with the placement of the chain link fence on that one.
That and the bounce, right? Yeah, just like, he just needed to be 7 feet tall, and he got that one.
If he had a little bit of extra real estate too. So kind of unfortunate for Partha, who was in good position on that one to make that play. As Sam will have to go to his second serve here after faulting on the first. Nice serve from him. Strong backhand return from Partha. Partha goes towards the right side of the court now. Sam testing his backhand, and it seems to be the good decision on that one. As Partha again goes wide. And I think we're going to see a little bit of a score change here, so we'll get an update. As Partha will get the balls for the next serve.
So it's kind of like climatic. Oh, so he took two of them.
Yeah, very dramatic on the flip.
You kind of hope to see one of the white cards get flipped, but so Sam has now reasserted the lead in this one again, already up 1-0.
But I'm sure this is something that Partha likes. He's got the serve in hand with a chance to tie things up. So, you know, a very, very big point hangs in the balance here with Partha on the serve. We'll keep our attention here on first singles with Partha's back to the wall. Looked like a good serve, I tell you, from our angle right where we're standing. He struck that one well.
Did not miss by much.
Just kind of hit the top of the net. Now, if it does hit the top of the net and goes over, they call that a let, and you still have your 2 faults, so it won't automatically count. But you don't waste one of your faults on that. Partha testing Sam's backhand this time. He'll deliver it back with one of his own. Sam tries to take something off of it. A spin. Ooh, it eats him up.
That you could just see that die. Like, I think he kind of like, shuffled on over and he was ready for it, and then it just it just seemed to die.
So a really nice spot for the Norton senior, who, if he's able to take these next 2, he's going to go up 6-3 and win it. So he's certainly got Partha on the ropes. 30 love now for the senior from Norton. So love 30 as Partha calls out. That one had some mustard on it, but a little bit long. So here comes the second. Pretty soft return there from Sam. Partha keeps it low to the net. Both players doing the same thing. And now Partha with a little bit of English. Almost puts it away. These two playing a little bit of mini for a moment. And Sam with an excellent winner there.
Yeah, he is. He is just playing extremely well and just putting that ball just out of reach. He's kind of got him, moving exactly the way he wants him.
So Partha now down love 40. Let's see if he can rally back. It's a good serve. You can tell he had a little bit of extra behind it on that one. Doesn't go. His second serve comes into play. Really strong forehand there from Partha, as maybe a little bit of that frustration causing a little bit more on the return. But that will put Sam up 5-3 now.
Yeah.
So you won't necessarily see the score flip.
Right.
But Sam with a potential opportunity here to close Partha out.
Yeah. Make this again. We look over here. We will stay on 1, but score-wise over on that doubles. Right now, he's got Norwood up 2-1, but.
And the other doubles, I think, is that 2-1 right now?
Could be.
Could, I believe 2-1. Although we'll certainly return to that in a moment. So attention stays here at the center court as Partha goes right down the line. That was a beautiful shot. Now takes something off of it. And Sam gets there. Partha with the return just to keep it into play. And this rally, it was a fun one. Sam did a great job of getting to that. Partha keeping it alive. But Sam Tavasoli Hojari, a senior captain from Norton, Now up 15 love, looking to close things out. He's already up 1-0 here in this match. And now already up 15 love. A good serve from him. Partha with a great return, and Sam will say it's in.
Yep.
We'll have to check the NCM replay on that one. Good sportsmanship from the Norwood senior. I would say he got it right from our angle, although we'll certainly be proven right or wrong if you check the replay. Partha takes something off of it, is ready for that return. Sam tries to go down the line, and Partha gets some applause from his teammates.
Yeah, it's a nice little comeback right here.
Yeah, now he's up 30-15. So on the ropes here. Sam is up 5-3. Here in the second set, he already leads 1-0. And a great serve from Sam. Notched this back up at 30.
Yeah, very impressed with this, the Norton #1 player. He's really got some great side-to-side action. He's been able to, as I think you mentioned earlier, Joe, just his lateral movement, especially along the baseline, is very, very impressive.
Here's his second serve. It's a good one. Both players with the forehand now for a little bit. Partha tries the backhand. That one very close to the net. Partha barely sneaks it in, and it goes out. A little bit long on that one, and Partha now with a 40-30 advantage.
But yeah, boy, you know, especially from this vantage point, sometimes when you take a look at them, it looks like it's going to go right into the net, right? And I mean, they are not missing the top of the net by very much.
Not at all. And that net does kind of sag in the
does
middle,
a little,
so
yeah.
you get a little bit of extra real estate on that. That's a really good serve from Sam that Partha is able to return. So these two battling. Partha does not want to drop this one and send this game back to a deuce. Goes with his backhand along the line, and that's exactly what happens. Kind of an awkward spot. I think that almost looked like an in-between shot for him. And from our vantage point, as we get a dog barking now in the background, certainly not something you see every day at the tennis court. Away we go. Good serve again from Sam. Playing with some pace now, pushing Partha back. Takes something off of it. Partha tries to go to the side, but Sam, where he's been money today,
really had a nice touch.
Right down that sideline.
For it.
So out, and now this potentially is set point and match point coming for Sam Tavasoli Hojati. Here's the serve as he looks to close out Partha. It's a great serve from him right on the line, but Partha returns it. And Sam with maybe some big eyes on that. He had a spot. He had an opportunity, Mark.
Yep. You could see that too, right? he was looking to unload that.
So Partha lives another day on that one. Back
that
to a deuce.
Yep.
This one just out. And a good call. I got to agree with Partha here.
Yep.
We don't always have the best view to call it, but I think on that one we probably did. Here's again a little bit long. And that is something that is a tennis player's best friend. A double fault from Sam now puts Partha in the driver's seat as Sam calls that out. That one is a good serve. Sam into the net. And Partha gets some applause from his teammates. He stays alive here as Sam now has a 5-4 lead, and we'll see the dramatic score flip. That speaks volumes about Partha and who he is.
He was down to, you know, almost kind of like his last gas there.
It was on match point.
Yeah. And and you can see Sam, there's kind of like that, he had that one breakaway point that he just missed and took advantage of it. You can see him kind of like, you know, hitting his forehead there to try to figure that out. Now, we will stay here, but I'm just, you know, looking over to our left, and I'm thinking that the Norwood second doubles took the first one because I think they moved, numbers looked like they were going back to 0, so they may have taken that first set. I'm not quite sure. Like the wind has gotten things all discombobulated.
That's true.
But
Now that would be
they-
huge for
yeah,
Norwood.
Exactly, yeah.
Because it might seem like they've got a commanding lead, obviously 2-0, but they're in trouble, obviously, in first doubles with Norton taking the first set and this one real close. And obviously they're in troubles here on our feature court with first singles. This one right against the line. Partha calls out.
Oh, yep.
And a great start for Partha here, who's showing some of that mental fortitude. You know, not quitting when he's down.
Exactly.
So Partha now up 15-love with the ball in his hand. And if he can get this to 5-5, now you got to feel all the pressure in the world is on Sam to close it out. First serve into the net here. And now the second one coming. It's a good one. Partha takes something off of it. Sam does a nice job of getting back to the middle of the court there. Partha choosing the backhand this time. Interesting option from him. Now he'll have to move up for it. And a beautiful cross-court play that Sam keeps in play. And this one just a little bit too low.
Kind of turned the tables on him. You know, that's something that Norton had been doing to him. You know, that Sam had been doing to him, and now he kind of turned the tables on him and has him running and putting the ball where he wants it.
30-love in favor of Partha for the moment. So Partha, who was facing match point against him, has rallied back now with maybe a little more breathing room, not a ton, but at least more so than he did before. This was a strong-looking serve that goes a little bit long, but fortunately for him, it was his first. Here's the second. Takes something off of it. Goes to the forehand, right into the middle of the court. It's a tennis ball coming from the other court into play. They play on. Partha with the backhand. And a good rally. Oh, almost developing. Spoke too soon.
That's great concentration, right? The ball,
Yeah.
the ball's rolling through the court.
Yeah, you
Play
don't want to
on.
step on it. You
That's
don't want it
right.
to get in the way.
Exactly.
Not sure exactly how the rules work. If that would be almost like a
do-over?
redo, yeah. But either way, Partha with a great serve. Look at that ace as we see a little bit of the fist
big.
pump from him.
That's
Starting to get some of
big.
his mojo back. And now up 40-15. 40-15, and this would be big for Partha. This would tie it up as he was able to take it. Game point here. Can't quite get it. So 40-30, another chance here to close it out before we go into a deuce. So although the last one is big, this one potentially looms larger. While we keep our attention here on the center court, it does look like we're getting a score update on second doubles. They have finished that one out.
Okay, right, yeah, 'cause now they're down to 0-0, right?
Yeah.
So they've, okay.
So I
yep.
believe Norwood has closed that out, at least in the first game.
Looks that
we
way.
weren't
Yep,
we weren't
yep.
quite paying attention, as the second doubles team of James Solnier and Trevor Lovell talk things over with Coach Churchill and also with Juno and with Joe DiPiero. But here away we go.
Yeah, so I could just hear down there that one they took 6-1, so
Yep.
that bodes well. Hopefully,
Pretty
for the
dominating
second one.
performance,
Exactly.
huh?
Yeah. So that might be nice, especially being up 2-0. It may come down to that one over there.
And also takes a
Yeah.
little bit of pressure off of Partha now, and
Right.
also the first doubles
Yep.
team, who might be able to play with a little bit more breathing room. It's a nice hit from Sam, and he hits this one into the net.
Oh, you can see kind of the frustration too. I think
Yep.
Sam right now, because again.
So I think 15
15
all
all,
right
yeah.
now. Great serve there from Sam. Partha going with the backhand. Oh, that one is very close to Sam.
Yeah.
Partha right at the net and puts it a little bit too long. So Sam now starting to feel it as he comes in close to closing this one out. He has had Partha on match point once. Now up 30-15 here. Although the score says that Sam's up 5-5, it's actually tied right now. Although if Sam takes it, he will win first to 6. It'll be the second set for him, and he will have a victory under his belt. Partha takes something off of it as he makes Sam move side to side. Sam has been so good down the lines. And this one eats up Partha. And now 40-15, we see another match point for Sam Tavasoli Hojati. Partha Jamalamadaka is 3-1 this season, but potentially facing a loss here unless he's able to rally back. Here's the serve from Sam. It's a good one. Partha keeps it in, resets himself a little bit, and Sam sends it out.
Yeah, not going to go away.
Partha, with his back to the wall now, I believe, has now won 3 points doing that.
Yeah. And then just real quickly, while we'll stay here on this, but just they just changed sides here for the first doubles, and Norton now is up 4-3. So big for them. So yeah, it might come down here to this second doubles.
Partha was checking the score with them just a moment ago. Obviously, you know, it's interesting. Tennis is such an individual sport, but also you do have that team aspect to it, and that shows the good teammate he is checking in. Chance to put it away. Partha going with the backhand. Oh, and he can't quite deliver on that one.
Oh,
and Sam closes it out.
What a finish.
Partha gave him all he had.
Right at the end.
But it's a win for Norton, as it's now 2-1 in favor of Norwood. Sam Tavasoli Hojati wins in straight sets against Partha Jamalamadaka.
Nope. Right? Yes. Okay.
I believe so, as those two will exchange pleasantries. And I believe that should do it.
Nope. Then we've got 6-5.
No, we keep going. So that's why they don't pay us to do these things, right? We counted them out. Now, if Partha's able to come back from this is the ultimate bulletin board material. We literally said that he lost. Well, let's see if he's able to do it now. So finds himself down, obviously pretty big, but he's got the serve. And let's see if he's able to deliver. 6-5. Again, if Partha now has to win these two in a row to be able to take this set. This one a let, so we'll see a redo on that. Yeah, so...
Well, they're just getting underway. Yeah, why don't we head back over here where it's 4-3 on first doubles.
So Partha is still playing, if you're with us, but while he continues to try to chip away at Sam's lead here, this is first doubles. This is Jack Weaver, who had that strong hit there, and Sam Prajapati, who goes just into the net. Sam has ditched the hat with the wind, and he and Jack find themselves down 4-3 currently. Norton has a 1-0 lead here in this match. And there's a great answer from Weaver. Not a whole lot you can do. It just looked like defensive play. This is James Stanton and Kevin Wilkie playing for Norwood on this court. For Norton, excuse me, on this court. Very easy to mix up the two town names.
Norwell, Norton, and Norwood.
That's right. Norton, only a conference opponent for Norwood since we went to the TVL, which came about in a switch not all that long ago. Norwood is a longtime member of the Bay State Conference, but now that drive down 495 to play Norton happens fairly regularly.
Yep. Yeah, you got them in just about everything, so. It's been a nice, again, I know that, certainly the times in the Bay State, there was some terrific competition there.
For sure.
And, but boy, I tell you, the move to the Tri-Valley has, the competition is just as solid. And it had gotten to the point, just kind of the size difference in the schools that it was hard to compete, right?
Yep.
And, Dedham had made the move, and I think that's, I know that Ron Marshalsea just said he had to run and get a battery, so we might not be able to zoom in, but I think that Norton then just took singles one.
They did, yes, and that was fairly quick.
Yeah.
So off camera, Sam Tavasoli Hojati finishes the job that we said he had finished about 5 minutes ago.
He was
Sam
just
comes
toying
away
with
with an impressive win. For Partha, that one has to sting a little bit as he was close, was right in this game. Sam may have won 2-0, but I don't think Partha was that much below him as an opponent. And these two will see each other later in the season, I'm sure.
For sure, yeah. But, boy, yeah, Sam is he played extremely well. But both did, but there were just some points that Sam had there for Norton. Again, just kind of knew exactly what he wanted to do, exactly where he wanted to go. It was almost kind of chess a little bit, where you were setting him up, and then you had that opening and you took it. So a big point there for Norton. So 2-1 Norwood right now. And again, Norton here on their first doubles, they lead the first set, and it looks like they're up in the second set. So it may come down again to this second doubles, which we know Norwood won the first set. Right now it looks like they're up 1-0 on that one.
So again, this is not unfamiliar territory though for Norton against Norwood. It was interesting looking back at last season's results. Norton won 3-2 in both contests, and they were back-to-back last year.
Yeah. Yep.
So those teams, I'm not sure exactly how many days were in between, but they were kind of dueling back-to-back as a result between the two of them. Here's a serve from Weaver, and look at the way Prajapati steps up on that one and delivers the kill shot. Sam was ready on that one and just ate up the Norwood player. So I believe we'll see the two switch sides.
So we'll get that all-important.
Yeah, that little update. Tell you, this is more dramatic than the lottery when they're revealing what the scores are. Let's see what we got right now.
White. That's good. That's a good sign. Ooh, that goes to a 6. Is that
All
6?
right,
No,
that
wait.
would be huge. I believe it would. If Norwood takes both, it would make it 5 to.
Oh, it's 5-5.
5 to 5. All right. So, no, I believe it should be 5-4.
Right. There should be an odd number, right?
Yep. Let's see if they get that corrected.
Trying to get an extra.
There we go. After the drama, it is 5-4. So Norwood currently with an advantage here as they will try to force a decisive third set here in this contest. Norton and James Stanton and Kevin Wilkie with the lead. And there's a good serve from Norton to kind of initiate play here. Prajapati puts it in. These two seem to play very well together, Prajapati and Weaver, as they know their roles. I think even though Norton won the first set, I think there's been fewer communication mishaps between the Norwood players, and maybe that comes with having experience playing with each other.
Yep, for sure.
Weaver has not always played with Prajapati. Not exactly sure who he was playing with 2 years ago when we were on the mics, but let's see what happened here. I think there was a little bit of miscommunication over a call.
A little miscommunication, yeah.
So love 30, Norwood up. And this could be big for Norwood. I now am questioning myself if they get to 6.
That's right.
But see what Norwood's able to put away. Prajapati a little bit too eager as he was kind of jumping out of his shoes on that one.
Yeah, kind of the same thing. You see that shot and you're like, yeah. And then you just freeze up real quick. And we'll stay on it, but just a score update from, I guess, it'd be court 3.
That was a great cross-court winner from Weaver.
Perfect. Is that the Mustangs have got 2-1, I think, in that second doubles with service. So kind of keep our
boding well for the Mustangs, right?
Yep. Currently up 2-1.
And either way, Prajapati and Weaver trying to do their best here to
see if they
get momentum on their side.
For sure.
4-1 could potentially be in Norwood's sights if they're able to do this. So in the meantime, a couple of the other tennis players now getting their opportunity. We hope they dressed warm, as it is getting a little bit cold here. And that's always the nice advantage, for the other players to get involved.
Yep, definitely.
And get some hits in. Mm-hmm. Yep. Certainly will feel a little bit better for them. And either way, as we were talking about the warmth here, Norwood closes it out. As they were able to pick up the win here. And so this is now 1-1 heading into the decisive third set. So the game that has been back and forth for quite a while. Mark, it feels like ages that Juno Joe and Joe DiPiero finished their singles contest.
It seems like 20 minutes and,
We are still going, and we're going to a decisive third set. It looks like Norwood right in front of us will have the serve. And maybe something that Weaver and Prajapati have talked about. They're going to give Sam the first serve on this one. And we were kind of saying that Norwood seemed maybe a little bit stronger with Weaver and the net and
Right.
Prajapati playing that back row.
Yeah.
And it appears that the guys agree on that. Although I'm not sure maybe if they are forced to change, which maybe that would just be us giving them some extra credit
right.
on something they had no decision over. This one goes a little bit wide, but either way, pretty good setup
Yep,
for Norwood to start
exactly.
off, and they get a nice 15-love start to begin against this duo of Stanton and Wilkie. Here's the serve from Prajapati. Goes just a little bit long. Norwood needs to take one of these two doubles matches to claim their second win of the season. And we're not sure again about Norton's last result, as they could potentially still be looking for their first.
Right.
It would take quite the comeback, though, in second doubles the way we're going. So Prajapati with the serve right now. We'll stay here for at least this one with Norwood having the serve, and then maybe turn our attention and see some second doubles action, seeing if they can close out the Norwood win. Here's Prajapati. We have seen his serve a lot on our airwaves today. This one just long. And Sam getting some cheers from the Norwood sideline.
Yeah, nice that, obviously, everybody stays and
Yeah.
keeps an eye on their teammates and cheers them on.
Right, Joe and Juno. It's not like they won and they've pieced out of here.
Yep.
They're sticking around, cheering on their teammates. And Sam is doing quite a job here
Yeah,
as Norwood just like
takes
that.
the first one.
So 1-0 in favor of the Mustangs. So let's do that. Let's turn over to second doubles. This is the one to watch right now if you're Norwood, as they, if things hold, would be the ones to clinch this win. And boy, would that feel good for Trevor and James, who are both juniors.
Yep.
Saw this team struggle last year, although they did get 2 wins. And this one, look out. Trevor has to play a little dodgeball on that one. Although I'm sure he's happy that serve was a little bit long. And the second one is as well. So a double fault here with Norwood up. I believe you're right, Mark, 2-1.
But yeah, boy, yeah, he had to kind of really duck out of the way of that
Yeah.
serve. Would not want to get in front of that.
Not sure if this is quite if this is Martin Nichette or if it's Tiger Bland serving right now for Norton. But I tell you, this guy's got a little extra
does.
mustard on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
serve.
yeah.
He's
Gets
not
that in.
not afraid, even
Nope.
on the second serve, which you don't always see.
Right.
Although now that I say that, he's probably going to dial it back. Little back, but still a line drive from him. Decides to play this one right off the bat, and a little bit of frustration now setting in from Norton. They've got 2 seniors on the court against the junior duo of Saulnier and Lovell for Norwood. But we're going to get another score update here, Mark.
I think this is going to go 4-1.
Yeah, I think based on the reactions and the way that Trevor is flipping those, it's 4-1 Norwood, and
Yep.
Norwood could potentially close this out. So these two really going back and forth. We'll stick with it for the moment, as this game is potentially nearing a conclusion if Norwood's able to go on a run still. Here's Trevor Lovell now. Lovell with a really good serve. Look at that. And was it in, Mark?
It
No.
looks like he was going to call it out. Boy, that didn't miss by very much. Did
No.
not miss by much.
No, we'll have to do the John McEnroe and call for a replay there. But either way, that's got to feel good, as
Yell at the
Lovell was
umpire.
quite close. That's true. We don't want that part of it. And
That
this
one
one is
stayed
in.
Yeah.
Kind of weird. It seems like the Norwood second doubles team has been winning a lot of their points with some softer serves.
I think
and
that's it's just critical to get the ball in, right?
Yep.
Get the ball in play. And
almost
go
like
from
a
there.
baseball analogy,
Mhm.
right? You put it in play, good things happen.
Exactly.
And so Trevor does just that. As Norwood is looking to close out a victory. This one a little bit long. Yep. So we're getting the update. Coach Churchill keeping his team informed. And I believe we have it right, Mark, that this is
Stranger
potentially
things have
closing
happened every
things
now
out.
and then. What do
Yep.
they say? Broken clock is right twice a day. So
There we go. Looks like the sun's starting to come out a little bit
Trying
more
to
again.
get
It's
us- yep.
trying. We're coming to
Shadows
you
creeping
from
in. Oh.
Norwood High School and the beautiful tennis courts, and we almost got a souvenir.
Yeah.
Or I think whoever just entered the Porta-John almost did. Always nice to have a nice sunny day for some tennis here at the school on the hill. These are some nice courts that they do a nice job maintaining. Norwood also maintains some tennis courts down at the Savage, where I believe they've added a new pickleball court as well.
Yes, yeah.
That has been
Sweep
pretty
in the
popular.
nation, huh?
Yeah. So if you
I have a
haven't,
brother-in-law who started doing that, and he swears by it. He says
That's
it's fantastic.
my dad's been getting into it into retirement as well.
Yeah. I'm hearing now that there are like pickleball courts near people's homes, and people go try to sell the homes and you can't because of the noise from the pickleball courts.
Ah, interesting.
So yeah,
you don't have quite that same smooth sound that
right,
you get
yeah.
off the tennis racket. That's a little bit more bang, bang,
a
bang.
little noisier.
But yeah, the one of the fastest growing sports
It
I've
is.
got to imagine. And you can kind of play it on a tennis court,
Yep.
but a little bit more difficult. But either way, tennis, which is not an easy sport to pick up. It's a little bit awkward, obviously, to hit it with that large racket and keep it in. It can be a very frustrating sport to play,
Oh, for sure.
as I'm sure we've both experienced at
Ooh.
some point in our lives.
You're like, oh, just knock it over the net. How hard can it be?
That was a really nice serve from
It's a
Lovell.
great little job there, yeah.
Yep, and Solnier was right near the net, so nice work from this duo as they look to close it out. Lovell still with the serve, but I think Norwood has an advantage for the moment. Maybe not. No, Lovell will go back and retrieve it.
Yeah, it looks like I think Norwood still has it. Still
Absolutely.
has service on that one, yeah.
If you're watching us on video on demand, you can check out a whole bunch of other sports through NCM, including tennis from a couple of years ago, but we've got some swimming meets on there that you and I had a great
yeah.
time doing
Oh.
this year. It is not just, football, hockey, basketball
That's
here
right.
at the school on the hill. We bring you them all, and we're happy to do it.
Cross country. We've done
That's
cross
right.
country.
Exactly.
Love doing that.
And, especially with some of these sports that maybe don't get the same kind of publicity, the coaches are really kind to us
Oh, yeah.
as we see Trevor and James hand the balls over to the Norton opponents. I believe this puts them right on the doorstep.
Should, right, yep.
But yeah, the coaches have been wonderful to us. Coach Churchill before the game giving us the lineup that Coach Murphy was able to draw out. So thanks to the both of them. And Coach Churchill has been here. He's been coaching tennis, I believe, at least since I've been at the school.
Yep.
So it's been at least 13 years for him. And he's become a staple with this program.
Well, I mean, you really have to, as they say, as Doc likes to say, kudos to the teachers that are also, I'll use the word double as coaches, right?
Right.
But it's a lot of effort and time and energy that is put in, by these coaches to work with these young folks day in and day out, and the passion for the sport. But I think it's more, again, it's that teacher mentality, right? That there's just that desire to work with young people and just to help them get better. And this is just, it's terrific to watch this competition and these young tennis players. Again, it's a sport that you can play till you're 70, 80,
Right.
even longer, right?
And a lot of these guys don't come in with much experience
Exactly.
too, right?
Yep.
So you're kind of responsible for developing that and introducing them to the game and developing that love from an earlier age.
Exactly right. Yeah. I mean, you look at sports like basketball and ice hockey, and we have youth programs, right? And then it's just a feeder system that
Yep.
they don't have like a middle school, or an elementary school tennis team.
Hey, there's no JV team here,
that's
right? No freshman
Yeah.
team.
So this is sometimes, like you said, it's a sport that you might pick up on your own, or you might get up here to the high school and you want to do something in the spring, and you're like, come on out, and they work with them and it help you develop a skill that you may not have had beforehand.
Absolutely. So here comes the serve from Norton. Kind of a get-me-over one that Lovell will keep close to the net. And I tell you, the eyes for the Norton player got pretty big there as he had both hands on the racket. But Norton back up against the wall with Norwood trying to close it out.
And it's tough too, because I think it's like we talk about that sun coming out.
Yeah. Yeah, this second doubles
Yeah.
match has now kind of attracted all of the attention that was originally being paid to first doubles, as just off camera, Coach Churchill watching on, Juno and Joe DiPiero, who won both of their singles matches, looking to see if Norwood can close out a win here. And again, the Norton player maybe a little bit too eager right near the net, as Saulnier kind of baited him with a little bit of a soft shot. And Norton struggling here. They're back against the wall. I believe, Mark, Norwood took that last one, so although the score reads 4-1, I think it's 5-1.
Right, yeah. And I think they're up in this last game here.
This one, oh, it's in. It barely snuck in on the line. I think it took everybody by surprise. Lovell will have to play to his backhand. Nice return there from Norton. And Lovell now having to work. Look at this.
Yeah.
The player in front for Norton very nonchalantly.
Yeah. But, the past couple of points, he had just kind of misfired on him. And on this one, kind of he's got that double-handed,
right. It's almost his signature style, huh?
Yeah. And this time it paid off for him.
Let's see what we get here. Saulnier goes to the backhand. Questionable decision maybe on Norton, excuse me. I think that might have been going out.
Long, yeah.
But I tell you, sometimes that's the best friend, and the two guys will come to the center. I think they're going to shake hands here. Or maybe we'll get a clarification on the score. No, Norton's still kicking.
Yeah.
And the serve now will come to Lovell. I've got to imagine, though, match point for Norwood if they're able to get this through. As James and Trevor were ready to shake hands and be on with it. It's a nice return. Look at that backhand.
Return. That's well done.
And that elicits a nice round of applause from the Norwood bench, including Partha and Juno.
Yeah, it looks like Norwood seems to think it's over. I think Norton's still trying to figure it out. I think there we go.
And that's the official conclusion of second doubles.
Yeah.
So
again, that's the beauty of that sport. Great sportsmanship. So
yep.
Big point right there. Yeah, we had talked about that's the importance of that second doubles, and Mustangs with that go up 3-1.
Yeah, it's a Mustang win here, Mark. As strange as that is, the competition is still going, but the Mustangs have already won.
I know,
you can
right?
put it in the books.
Yeah, exactly.
And now it's a question of whether it will be a 4-1 victory or a 3-2, which has been pretty typical for the Norwood-Norton rivalry. But credit to Trevor Lovell and James Saulnier as they come away with their first win of the season.
Good
and
for
the
them.
duo not only gets the win, but they ice the team victory for Norwood. Congratulations to both juniors. But either way, there is only one more game currently played, and what a surprise. It is first doubles that has been back and forth so far, as I believe the crowd of players will now
everyone kind of shifts
come back
down.
over and shift in to support Sam Prajapati and Jack Weefer, who have been getting a lot of camera time here on our network today as they continue this marathon game.
We were just kidding about having to turn the lights on. But
Tell you, we're getting relatively close. And who else? It's Sam Prajapati on the serve, as has usually been happening. We've been watching this game a ton, Mark, and I don't think we've seen Jack serve.
that's right.
So just seemingly the way
timing.
we've been coming in and out.
And talk about timing.
Although we're now going to see Norton serve.
We'll get the magical shifting of the scorecards.
There it is. Drum roll, please, Ron.
Oh, I saw two movement.
And it is
3-2
3-2 now for Norton.
Norton took the first one on this set, so.
Now, if you're Norton and you can keep this 3-2, going into your next match, which is later in the year, that's got to feel pretty good.
Definitely.
So even though obviously the game is over, it has been decided, this could be something that that has Norton feeling a little bit better about themselves, especially because they play tomorrow.
Yep. So you take some momentum into it, right?
Both teams will take on Medway in their next game. Norton is at home, thankfully, as they had a long drive today playing Medway. The Mustangs on the road, and they will be heading to Medway to play the other Mustangs, as we see Norton get a really strong return there right near the net.
Yeah, they play that front of that net. The gentleman there with the sunglasses, again, we don't know which one's which, but with the sunglasses on, he plays that very aggressively right up front there, so been doing that most of the day.
Here comes the serve. Prajapati almost eats up his opponent, and this one ticks over. Sometimes the net is your worst enemy. Sometimes it's your best friend. And Sam with the backhand there gets a big point for Norwood. This one to the back line kind of eats up Weefer a little bit as he does a bit of a hop. And I tell you, some of the players now, even on the far side, this is the match to watch.
Yeah, just about everybody has, I mean, we got a couple folks have obviously hopped on to continue to practice, but yeah,
Right.
This is the one where folks want to see how this all wraps up.
Yeah, the courts are full. I think a couple of Norton players also getting back out there.
Mhm.
I think that's David Coe, who's getting some action for them. He and Drew McPartland playing each other in kind of a warm-up match, which is nice to see because they've obviously got a long bus ride back home, and they haven't been playing now for a little while. I think 40-30, or Norton is at least up in this one, and this one goes a little bit long. Good eyes there from Jack Weaver. And the coach is having a conversation. I think they may have called the wrong score, if I'm hearing that right. Sometimes it can be a little tough to keep track. There's a nice return from Prajapati. He lets Weaver play this one right in front of the net, and it goes a little bit long. Nice job by Norwood as they get a little bit of a round of applause there from the onlookers. Getting a little bit colder, a little bit cloudier here at the school on the hill. And Ron now can say to us that you know what it's like to be up on the
That's right.
on the top of the booth there during football games.
Feels like a Thanksgiving game.
That's right. Early April.
Ooh.
And there's a really nice return. I tell you, that player from Norton has been really strong near the
Very
net.
strong net player.
And now it looks like we will get to see Jack Weaver serve a little bit. So
So it looks like Norton took that one.
Yep, so they are now up 4-2, I believe, in the contest. As Weaver will try to stem the tide. A little bit long on that one. Jack was ready to play it.
Didn't miss by much.
Jack has demonstrated he's been a really strong net player so far, although we've obviously not gotten to see a lot of him in the back row with Sam doing most of the serving, at least on our cameras. And look at that.
That's a great cross-court shot.
Speaking of the back row,
Yep.
Jack is able to deliver a winner on that one, and Norwood, just like that, goes up 15-love. Just off camera is the Norton bus. We were talking about this earlier. They've got the small little mini bus that they took here. Kind of neat to see.
Great
Guess
ride.
to save a little bit of gas, right? Not taking the big bus for a tennis team that maybe got 8 members.
Right. It's probably a little bit, in terms of team bonding. You're not stuck in a big orange school bus.
Yeah, for sure. Now, not sure who drives that. I don't know if maybe I know some schools, if they have the small bus, if the coach has a license, maybe. So Norton takes that one, and we're back to 15 all. No, excuse me, 30 love. And this one to the net. Jack kind of does that little hop. You can tell when he gets frustrated. And now with 30 love, the second serve. Just off the mark. And at 30 love mark, that's a pretty big double fault.
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of needed that one.
The last contest of the day. And normally it ends up being second doubles that you're still watching to the end. But this is first doubles as we are knotted up 1-1. The jackets, the Subway sandwiches, the sweatshirts coming on the sidelines. Norton came prepared today,
They did, yeah. Just waiting to see, what sort of snacks Jack Tolman brings up for us.
That's right. We'll be getting a whole variety of sports on our NCM cameras. Volleyball, I believe, coming next week. Certainly have some baseball and some softball as the weather gets nicer.
Yeah.
You got to call a game at Zavarian, which
did.
is a really neat facility and school to see.
Yeah. Ron brought the equipment out, so it was kind of fun to be able to do an away game.
That's right.
Unfortunately, the Mustangs took that one on the chin. They opened up the top of the first. Three runs, and you're like, ooh, this is kind of fun. And then we kind of saw why Zavarian was in the Final Four last year for baseball and continues to be year after year. So
look at that nice serve from Weaver, but a really good return from Norton as well as Weaver sends it long. We believe Norton up 4-2 right now, and I think with that score change, I think this should put up the Lancers 5-2. Norton will do the honors. And their coach has to be
Coach
happy
Murphy
about
doing
that
a
one.
little happy dance down there on that one.
5-2 in favor of James Stanton and Kevin Wilkie, as the two of them now will attempt to close out Sam Prajapati and Jack Weefer. So Sam and Jack ready to go. They want to shake the memory of those last 2 games. And now Norton with the left-hander on the serve. Almost a little frustration from him. He's like, hey, let me get going. We got the momentum on our side. A good serve from him to get things started. Goes to the backhand and right into the net. It kind of had the looks of maybe that was going to be a let or one of those that just kind of ticks off the top of the net. Not sure if I got the term right. But Norwood a good start. Love 15, and here's the second serve, and just like that,
Yeah.
Norwood is up 30 love.
Now, I thought I heard the coach said James.
Yeah, that's
so-
it,
all
yep.
right, so is this the 8th grader then?
You and I are putting it together. This is James Stanton, a freshman,
Freshman.
and
Okay,
his
so
partner is Kevin Wilkie, an
the
8th grader.
Yep.
Kevin has shown a pretty good presence for somebody in 8th grade. So good for the Lancers that they'll have him with the team for a while. That was a nice play by Stanton on the back row. He has to try to do it again and bounces it over. So Stanton, who I thought was going to ditch the sunglasses for a moment,
Yep,
maybe with
yep.
the way the clouds are setting in, now is down love 40 as he'll have to get this one in. A good serve will do it. Weefer sees an opportunity as he tries to go down the line. But Stanton keeps things alive for Norton, at least for the moment. 15-40 now. The Lancers are one away from closing it out, but Norwood has played well with their backs to the wall. Prajapati very calm and collected. As he and Stanton rally, this one is missed, and thankfully for
yeah.
Norton, as I believe if Wilkie had gotten his racket on that,
Yeah,
that would have sent
yeah.
the ball flying, but Stanton couldn't clean it up from the back row, and
makes
now
it
it's 5-3 in favor of
Yeah.
Norton.
See, here we are now. Now we know exactly what the score is. We know
There we
exactly
go.
what's going on. It only took us how many minutes?
Players have been doing a
That's
nice
right,
job
yeah,
of calling it
helping us
out. And Prajapati back on the serve. It's a good serve from him. Norwood still alive. There's no clock in tennis.
Oh,
And there's a nice cross-court winner from Jack Weefer, as he's got his other captains, Juno and Partho, watching on. They're happy to see that. Norwood to win 4-1 is something that Norwood did not do at all last season. Both of their wins were 3-2 skinnier teeth victories. Weefer again gets this one.
oh, yeah.
And Jack Weefer starting to come alive near the net now. Norton is up 5-2, but Norwood holds a 30-love advantage. Good serve. Now Prajapati with the forehand. Can't quite get it to go. 30-15 now. Sam Prajapati is a junior, so I imagine he will have a pretty big responsibility on this team next season. Weefer will be graduating in just about a month and a half or so at this rate.
Crazy how fast it goes.
Weefer there trying to go down the line. He goes cross court and it's a little bit long.
That was a nice little bing, bang, bing, ping pong volley right there.
Kind of looked good from
Yeah,
our
it
angle,
sure
but then
did.
I
Thought
think
it
it
was
ended up a
gonna-
little
thought it
bit
was gonna get
further
in.
than he wanted.
So that should make it, what, 30-30?
I believe 30 all here.
Yeah.
It is, as Prajapati calls it out. This one stays in. Nice serve from Sam to start things off. And Norton, just like this, has set up match
Yeah.
point.
Big here to get this first serve in. Ask and ye shall receive.
Look at that. Weefer steps up. Nice play from him. Weefer again.
Wow.
Look at that.
Perfect.
Jack Weefer, when he finds that opportunity, is not afraid to put it home.
Right.
And he
Right.
does just that. And it's a deuce right now. Prajapati serves the first one into the net. But a nice job by Weefer, who obviously had to know the pressure on that shot. I'm sure that is not lost on him there. Prajapati near the sideline. Has to take a couple steps back for it. And this one into the net off of Wilkie. So Norwood now staying alive. They could make this 5-4 mark.
Make this 5-4 with this one, yeah.
A marathon game, as these two doubles teams have been very closely
They
matched.
do not want to go home.
They will be seeing each other again later in the season, I believe. Norwood played Norton twice last season, and look at that. Norwood does a great job and closes them out.
Yep.
And this has to be disappointing for Norton as you were up 5-2, chance to close it out. But the white marker will flip over twice, and Norwood now has a chance to really turn the tide with the momentum on their side.
So Murphy's going to take a few seconds to talk to her players.
And this is where, you know, a coach, especially like John Churchill, a teacher, you know, is able to kind of bring some levity to the situation. You don't want to let the game get away from these guys. Stanton and Wilkie have been in control more often than not in this match. Coach Churchill will also talk things over with Sam and with Jack Weaver, and just like they've been doing so often, Juno and Joe DiPiero coming over to support as well.
Yep.
Juno almost kind of acting like second coach right there. As he shouts some words of encouragement, he's got some suggestions for Sam as the two talk through the chain link fence.
It's kind of neat to watch, right? Just you know, because they you know, if maybe you're there on the sidelines, you see something, right?
Exactly.
Maybe you can kind of pick up. So chance here for the Mustangs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It'll be Kevin Wilkie in only his third career match. Third maximum. I'm not sure if he was able to get into action in the first two, although I assume he did. He will be on the serve here. And the 8th grader for Norton serves it in. And Weaver with an immediate reply. Jack Weaver to the delight of the onlookers. Starting out strong here. 15 love in favor of Norwood. Tell you, if you're the Mustangs, you're starting to feel the momentum is all on your side at the moment. Prajapati into the middle of the court. Look at this. And he gets it. Yep.
James right there for Norton. That was almost like a wall, right? He just can't get it past him.
Absolutely.
But
And finally,
they did, yeah.
Sam went to James's right, and that was the winning ticket. Nice job from him. So just like that, just like the last one, Norwood jumps out 30 love here. Wilkie has been pretty reliable on the serve as he gets a good one over here. As we see Weaver with that little frustration hop. And now Prajapati will go back to receive the serve, where Sam has been so good today. And Weaver obviously will be the one to watch playing close to the net. Prajapati, nice play as he comes back and he gets the winner. That's a fantastic play from the junior.
Wow. That was great.
And that elicited probably the biggest response from the crowd I think we've heard all day.
For sure.
As Sam showed some really good poise there, and now Norwood on the doorstep of tying this contest up. As I believe we're at 40-15. Weaver right into the net. And Norton still alive here. 40-30 with Kevin Wilkie on the serve. 30-40, they find themselves down, but Norton is up currently in the match. This one goes a little bit wide. Second one is in. Prajapati trying to sneak it in. Oh, he did. Might have been out for a second from our angle, but it was called in. We'll have to check the replay on that one, but a nice play. And we are out of deuce now. Weaver. Prajapati near the net. Can he put it home? No. Sam thinking he was a little bit taller than he was. And just like that, it's add in. And Norton has a chance to, I believe, put Norwood away here. Prajapati. And look at that. A nice celebration there from James Stanton, who closes out the win.
Yeah, that was great match between those four players right there. I mean, again, both were what, 6'4", I think, right, or at least 6'5".
They were all very closely contested.
Close matches. I mean, that was kind of like our marathons of the day, right? I mean, everyone else has been kind of done for a while.
So it's a 2-1 win for the freshman James Stanton and the 8th grader Kevin Wilkie as they come away with the victory, and a very closely contested loss for Norwood's team of Jack Weaver, the senior captain,
good for them.
and Sam Prajapati, who gave them everything they had.
They really, really did. Yeah, I mean, I think all four of those guys did a fantastic job. But all things considered, we saw some terrific tennis today, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
our second and third singles were done within minutes, and then we saw our doubles were terrific, and obviously the number one singles were also. You see why they're the number one. I mean, just fantastic tennis players. I mean, all of them were, but these number ones were really, really something to watch. It was
Just
a lot of
real
fun.
smooth, great
Very smooth,
form,
yep.
and even from the untrained eye, they looked fantastic.
Exactly.
So,
Yep.
to kind of recap today, Norwood wins 3-2, a close contest against Norton. Norwood got wins in second singles from Juno Joe, in third singles from Joe DiPiero, and in second doubles, which was the clinching win from a junior duo of Trevor Lovell and James Saulnier. And for Norton, they do get 2 wins, so they're able to kind of bring something into that next match. Wins from Sam Tavasoli Hojati in first singles, and as you just saw, from James Stanton and Kevin Wilkie with the big fist bump at the end. They were very excited
James,
as they claim first doubles.
Boy, you can tell he loves playing that net.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's just he likes that position up there, and that there's sometimes that stuff's not getting by him. He's very quick in the middle there and up by the net. A lot of fun. A lot
For
of fun
sure.
to watch. Yep.
Always a pleasure to do this with you,
Oh,
Mark.
yeah.
Getting some tennis on the air.
Exactly. Love it.
Thanks to our wonderful crew, Ron Marshalsea, who had even more work than usual,
That's
panning
right.
across 4 courts, but he did a wonderful job, and we survived the cold up
We did.
here. And Jack Tolman getting us some coverage down on the court before the game of that neat little ceremony
stuff.
that they do.
Really
So
good stuff. Yep.
Whether you're watching us from Norton or from Norwood, we're glad you joined us, and we hope you join at another sport relatively soon.
Yeah. So your final here, Mustangs win this one over Norton 3-2. For Joe Pinola, I'm Mark Hoover. Have yourselves a great afternoon, everybody.
Take care.